and now 3 first-round picks in this trade. Toronto again loses Tortorego, and now there's an Indiana team, that gets an all-star level forward to plug in. And listen, you talk to players around the league, there are no shortage of guys who love the idea of playing with Tyrese Halliburton. Siakam was among them. And one last thing, when the league put in this new salary cap and this second apron and this real limitation on the way mid-market teams could stockpile star players, you're starting to see now Siakam, teams like Golden State or
couldn't have drawn it a whole lot better. That's exactly how you want to start the game. Excellent momentum off the opening kickoff.
Trade deadline, what's your first reaction here?
I care about postseason more than in season. And that's the thing that with they do. So that's what we're doing. How good is this? Let's just sit on one side. Let's rebuild. We'll get back to this in 3 years. Now, how good does this make them? And how important is out there and healthy again? I presume this means Buddy Hield is staying low. Is that a reason presumption?
well, still a couple of weeks left for the trade deadline. They do value Hield shooting short term. It remains to be seen if he's still with this team after the deadline.
So they need to have past the deadline. We see where they are. So when we look at the top of the East and we look at Boston, and we then presumably look at Milwaukee, Philadelphia, does this push the Pacers past the Knicks? Does this push them into contention, still defensively challenged with, say, Philadelphia? We're still looking at Boston, Milwaukee at the top of the East, but how high does this push the Pacers?
I still don't have them over New York, let alone Philadelphia, Milwaukee, or Boston. I do think this team has improved with Pascal on their team. He's an upgrade from Bruce Brown, essentially. And Pascal's got him on the floor, higher space, the way he pushes the ball. He gets that. Siakam out and lanes. That can be valuable. The 3-pick going, I do like that. This guy's 23 years old. I look at OKC and how they had Shea a couple years ago. He was still one of the best guards in the league. They've had all these picks, and they keep surrounding them with new, young talent as this team grows out. That is the risk they're taking, but again, obviously there's an assurance that he's going to be back in Indianapolis. So for short term, they are better.
So no, the Pacers aren't as good as Boston, Milwaukee, and Philadelphia. No. That can't be the benchmark for a trade like this, especially for a small market team like the Pacers. They can't go grocery shopping at the superstar grocery store. Like, they have to get who's available to them. And you just nailed the most exciting part of this, which is those two dudes running the floor together, Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam. That is going to be a show. You have a shooting center in Miles Turner who can space the floor for Siakam. Pascal can guard every position on the floor for a team that has been abysmal at defense. Is this team going to be a favorite in the first round? No. I would expect them to lose in the first round if they get in. But ask the Bucks how fun this team was to play before this trade. Like, they're going to have a puncher's chance if they get in the playoffs. And the 3 picks, look, I think Toronto actually did pretty good to get 3 first, given history. But you got to understand, 2 of them are going to be out this year. And so that obligation exhausts itself. And so the Pacers will have stuff to trade if and when they want to upgrade this roster down the line. They haven't handicapped themselves like the Clippers for 7-8 years in draft equity. This team is going to be good. You have 2 All-Stars. Pascal Siakam's an All-Star. Whether he makes it this year or not, the guy's an All-Star player. He's 29. Indiana can't be picky at one's 29, one's 23, whatever he is. Like, this is going to be a really good and fun team, and sometimes you just got to have some fun in the NBA.
Well, let's talk about a couple of teams that could, at times, afford to be picked, because Bobby Marks had Pascal Siakam and the Toronto Raptors way up there on his trade leader in terms of teams to be watching as we approach the trade deadline. Now Pascal Siakam is off the board for the Wolves. How are teams like the 76ers, the Golden State Warriors, folks that maybe had an eye on Pascal Siakam, what are they pivoting to now that Pascal is headed to Indiana?
Yeah, I don't think Siakam is really a serious consideration either of those teams, because they knew that you're going to have to max them out this summer in free agency. And I think what Golden State would have to give up, and I think Philadelphia I think they feel like they're working from a position of leverage, and they can be patient, that maybe they could even get better out there. But I think for Indiana, again, them having the cap space this summer, that built the market, because teams knew, even a team like Sacramento,
If I trade for Pascal Siakam without assurance, without confidence he's going to resign with me, this guy can just walk. And we know there are teams with cap space where there's a mutual interest. That was Indiana. That gave Indiana leverage throughout these talks. I think a lot of the other deals we may be seeing between now and the trade deadline with Siakam and Anunoby both now out of Toronto, they may not be of the level of these players. There may be more role players moving around, but history shows us strange things happen before the trade deadline. Players become available who none of us expected to become available. It happens almost every year. I'm guessing it'll probably happen this year with some of these. And look, to your point, I was it okay here because I don't think teams are going to go all in on Pascal Siakam. He's shooting 31% from three, which makes him a tricky fit on some of these. He's been hot lately. And to me, like Philadelphia with Embiid, maybe we'll see where they go. Sacramento is the interesting one that I think had a big decision to make, and they've had a couple of points before we talk about them. But I'm excited about this trade, and if you look at the roads not taken, who is the team that was just going to jump all over themselves to get Pascal Siakam? I'm not sure there was one right now. Atlanta had been a team, go back through the summer, who had tried really hard to get involved in that, and then I think they got to a point here where the idea of them trading for a player like that and having the confidence to re-sign him, and maybe going in a different direction, roster-wise, age-wise, closer to what Toronto's doing today. The secondary headline here seems to be LFPA for small market teams. I mean, speaking to Woj, the salary cap implications, the weak teams are able to get involved in the only ways they can get involved. I mean, we've learned by now, the big star free agents don't even necessarily go to New York, not Manhattan. But this is the way, exactly, Austin. I mean, this is the way that the Sacramento, perhaps on deck, Indiana coming through with this trade. I may be a little bit higher, and I'm an old defensive person first. Maybe a little bit higher on the defensive for you guys. I mean, the actually gives them some defensive presence. They have none now. You would think coming with that house would have to be real. But it's just there's also, you know about the spirit of the age, but a spirit that watches them often you would expect to be good.
Absolutely. I mean, now they're getting an all-star type player. They're losing Bruce Brown, who's a good role player, but now you're getting an all-star guy. You're giving also Halliburton, in terms of pressure on his shoulders every night, he has another guy he can confidently go down the stretch with, that he has confidence in to handle his own. It makes them much deeper. And in terms of matchup with him in Milwaukee, another guy who you can throw at Giannis in terms of guarding him. They have the Naismith guy who gives him problems, but now you're throwing another lengthy, strong, competitive, guy who can play both ends of the ball.
The coach of Rick Carlisle who knows how to use it.
Exactly. That's why Buddy Hield's important now.
Yeah, I mean,
the shooting is, they need shooting
for
now.
anybody in Indiana who